Welcome to State Insurance USA Cares podcast, where we celebrate the heart of our communities. Each episode, we highlight local charities and nonprofits who are bringing hope, help, and healing to those who need it most. Get ready to be inspired by the amazing stories of people making a difference, because together, we care.
Well, hi, and welcome to State Insurance Cares. We're the charitable giving arm of State Insurance USA. I'm Gail Langner. I think we probably know this every day. There are people in our community who see a need and choose to do something about it. And today I've got the perfect guest that's one of those people. Brent Hite is the founder of Connecting Blessings. And so welcome to the podcast today, Brent. We're so happy to have you.
Thank you, Gail. Thanks for having us. And we really appreciate Blake and the State Insurance team for all your generosity and commitment to making a difference in Southwest Florida. Thank you.
Well, we're honored to do it. As soon as we found out exactly what you do, we knew that this was something that we needed to get behind for sure. So tell me a little bit about yourself and what really inspired you and your wife, Kelsey, to even start Connecting Blessings.
Yeah, it's an excellent question. I think Kelsey and I were really led, honestly, by our local church community at Summit Church and just our own family. It really came down to asking our kids if we wanted to do this as a whole entire family. That started out, which reached out to our community group in church and had other like-minded families helping us out as well. And it was really just giving back to the local community that's given to so much to us.
Well, tell our listeners exactly what is Connecting Blessings. What do you do?
Yeah, so the way I break down Connecting Blessings is we love God and love others by identifying problems and creating solutions. It's really an easy way of doing it when you really break it down, but I think the main thing is just connecting us with people that we can help in the community. So it looks different in different ways. We've been connected with the CarePortal, which, if anybody's aware of that, that's community partnering in organizations like social workers that are out there helping kids on the front line and children in need and families in need. We, through Summit Church, have a CarePortal connection, and they send out requests to local community people, groups like ourselves, for instance, with Connecting Blessings. We're able then to commit to helping those families and children in need. And that's really been a breakthrough for a lot of people locally because it keeps families together rather than placing them in the care of children's services.
So give me an example of something, just maybe your most recent request. What
Yep. So requests that go out can vary. A lot of times it depends on what's necessary or like the urgency of it. You'll receive calls of concern through the CarePortal that request for bedding or, let's say, clothing. That then goes out into the local community, and then you can select and identify that you claim that CarePortal request, and your team can then go ahead and pay it forward by taking care of it themselves, even delivering it themselves. But mainly we work through other services, mainly through, let's say, like social workers that go take care of the items themselves. So recent requests have been going through. We even do a lot for, let's say, back to school initiatives, things of care of that nature. But this is more of an urgent care need, if it would be like needs with clothing or needs with, let's say, housing or anything of that nature.
Is there anything that you see that might be the greatest need, or maybe you see a lot, very common asks?
Yeah, a lot of times, and we actually have partnered with another group that helps out with this. They are a group that helps with bunk beds, and a lot of it is because, of course, sometimes the housing that they're in doesn't necessarily able to provide the bunk beds for them, or let's say bedding in general. So we actually come along them, and they'll actually go out and research different ways to receive the bunk beds, fix them up, and then get them to the families in need. And those just don't have to be bunk beds. Those can be any kind of beds, let's say,
Sure.
Cribs, toddler beds, what have you. So I would say like the bedding mainly would be the biggest need right now.
Highest priority. So are you dealing a lot with foster families, Brent? Or
Yes, yeah.
are you? Okay.
It's foster families as well, but the CarePortal initiative is actually keeping families together that are already, whole families, the general families, the original families. The way that looks is, let's say if a mother has a call of concern that she wants to put out there to the social worker, then that social worker can get in touch with people locally to help. That's the best way to go about it.
Okay. I see a lot, you were talking about your church and so on. So there must be some sort of great collaboration between, like, explain the CarePortal to our listeners that may not know what that means.
Yes, so we're blessed to attend Summit Church University campus, and the local team there has what they call the Every Child Initiative. Basically, what that is looking to make sure that every child is taken care of. As we were commanded, and basically just trying to take care of those in need. We want to make sure that children are one of those main priorities. What the Every Child Initiative does is seeks to find families forever homes, those children's forever homes, I should say. So whether that is, like you've mentioned, foster care initiatives, whether it's through temporary respite, whether it's through a permanent adoption, those are all blessings that we can take on. I think the biggest call for us was getting part of that and seeing how great of a network there is out there. We just wanted to contribute any way that we possibly could. And that can be as easy as something as donating money or donating goods, to the local churches, to, in this case, the Every Child Initiative. It could be helping out, as I mentioned, with that person who's handling the bunk beds, or they actually go out and refurbish bedding for other individuals as well. There's just so many things that we're blessed with here in Southwest Florida to get engaged and connected. And I think really that's where our name came from. It was just being able to connect other people with who needs the help, who needs the assistance.
Exactly. What do you think your greatest challenges are, Brent? When does the brick wall come up?
Yeah. Yeah, I think when people believe that they can't help or that there's too big of a call of concern, let's say, I'm always asking, what can I do to help? And I wish other people would do the same. It's not necessarily a negative thing there. It's actually a positive thing. Anybody can do the smallest little thing, and the biggest ripple of kindness and compassion can come through from that. So I guess just be open to those random acts of compassion and kindness that can take place throughout your day. Be open to being that change that you can see really impact your local community, and you'd be surprised of what it can do for the impact of good for all.
Well, how can our listeners actually get involved, Brent? I mean, what would you suggest if, let's say it's me. How would I
Yeah.
get involved? How would I help, in what
Yeah,
way?
I definitely think reaching out to your local school, whether it's your local church, any local organization that can help out, you can get connected with us at connectingblessings.org. Also follow us on Facebook. We have upcoming events. The big one we do is our annual pickleball fundraising event. So if anybody's out there is playing pickleball or interested in that, they can find more information about that too. But I think just being more engaged in your local community, and again, being open to those things where you can really be able to care for others and get open and out there to help others.
So tell me a little bit more about the pickleball. Tell me.
Oh, yeah. So
Yeah.
I played basketball my entire life. I'm originally from Ohio, and we had sports outreach through our churches and local areas for that. Down here, I really enjoyed playing pickleball. Pickleball definitely is more open with younger audiences. It can be men, women, children, anybody for that matter. So what we did is we teamed up with Ace Pickleball Club. They're an indoor facility. We rent out all 12 of their courts. We're going to have that on Sunday, October 18th this year. We had our last year's tournament at the same location. And the nice part about it is, even if you don't really care about pickleball, it's just fun to come out and support, one another, see what's going on in the local community. But we lovingly call that our passion. We don't want to call it anything negative. So it's a way of using our passions and our little hobbies to pay back to the community. We've had a lot of different fundraisers for different things, but this one by far is one of the funnest ones that we do. And it's really a lot more hands-on where people can get involved for that.
And probably your largest fundraiser as
Yes,
well.
largest one of the year as well.
Right.
We ended up going from we had 3 courts when we originally started this. And then last year we did the 12 courts. And I know for sure we're going to need the exact same amount of courts this year. Have a lot of local great fundraisers donors, I should say, that help us with the fundraising, that can get involved by being, sponsors and things of that sort too, which is a blessing.
All right. That is awesome. I'm so glad to hear that. So let me just ask you, as we wrap up here, if you were to want to get just one thing across to the people that are listening to this podcast today, what do you think that would be?
I think being able to give someone else a hope in a future, being able to take a burden off of your fellow human and really doing that human being thing, keeping the human element alive. I really just push us all to go above and beyond in that regard. I think just being open, again, being open to those random acts of kindness and compassion. You never know how simple a thing like opening a door or waiting for someone, to help. Like, let's say down here in Florida, someone gets rained on, you have an umbrella, being able to help them get to shelter safely. You'll never know what that can do to that person's day and that person's life. So things that we've done in the past, like we have connected here at FGCU, Florida Gulf Coast University, where I work, and we had a student who came to us for a food insecurity. Basically, they needed more food and assistance. We were able to provide that. That student ended up keeping in touch with me and has since graduated. And I never know what that's going to do to that person forever, but you never know what that little ripple of change can really change in someone's life just because you cared.
Oh, you're exactly right. Even if you're in the grocery store and you comment on an elderly woman's hair or how beautiful she looked or what a great smile she has or whatever, you never know. You never know. You don't.
Exactly.
So,
That's for
right.
sure.
So how can you be reached? Could you run your website by us again, please?
Yep. So it's connectingblessings.org, and you can find us on Facebook as well, and Connecting Blessings.
All right, that's wonderful. Brent Hite, the founder of Connecting Blessings, thank you so much for being on the podcast today. Really appreciate it. And God bless you and your wife and your entire team and your whole family for doing this. So you're making a lot of difference in a lot of people's lives, Brent. Thank you.
Thank you, Gail. We're doing our parts. We really appreciate everybody else helping out.
Absolutely. Have a great day.
You too.
Thank you for joining us on State Insurance USA Cares. We hope today's story uplifted and inspired you. If you'd like to support or learn more about the incredible work happening in your community, visit stateinsuranceusa.com or call 239-567-9992. You can also visit CaboWaboGym.com. Until next time, be sure to let your sun shine and keep sharing good and positive vibes wherever the waves take you.